Yo, what's up guys? The Genshin 5.4 beta just kicked off and oh boy, do we have some juicy details to talk about. Today's focus, the new limited 5-star Anemo character Yumemizuki Mizuki, straight out of Inazuma. We're diving deep into her kit, passives, constellations, and whether she's worth your precious Primogems. So grab your snacks, sit back, and let's get into it. Oh, and before we start, if you love these kinds of breakdowns and want more beta leaks or character guides, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. It really helps the channel out and keeps me motivated to bring you more Genshin goodness. Alright, let's start with her basic attacks. Normal attack. She performs up to 3 attacks, dealing Anemo damage. Charged attack. Uses some stamina to deal AoE Anemo damage after a short wind-up. Plunging attack calls upon the power of Anemo to dive bomb the ground, dealing AoE damage. Pretty standard Anemo stuff, nothing groundbreaking here. We've seen it before with characters like Sucrose and Shanyon. Now things start to get interesting. Mizuki's elemental skill lets her enter this dreamy Dream Drifter state, floating off the ground and dealing 1 instance of AoE Anemo damage right away. While in this state, here's what happens. She deals AoE Anemo damage at regular intervals. Swirl damage for nearby party members gets a nice boost based on her elemental mastery. The Dream Drifter state ends when she swaps out or you recast the skill. Numbers for the nerds: initial skill damage 103.9%, continuous damage 80.8%. Swirl damage boost 0.24% per point of elemental mastery. So, yeah, she's setting herself up as a swirl-focused ADPS. Honestly, it's giving Sucrose vibes, but more on that later. So, in short, after pressing E, she will float around and deal AoE Nemo damage and at the same time will boost swirl damage of party members based on her own EM. Okay, this one's fun. Her elemental burst summons a dream-like vortex that pulls in enemies and objects, dealing AoE and Nemo damage. But wait, there's more. She also summons this little guy called Mini Baku, who creates Yumemikaze specialty snacks. Here's the deal with these snacks. If a character picks it up with over 70% HP, it explodes, dealing AoE Anemo damage. If their HP is below 70%, it heals them based on Mizuki's elemental mastery. If no one grabs the snack, it auto-explodes after a while, dealing damage. Quick stats: burst damage 169.3%, explosion damage 127.0%, healing 201.6% of her elemental mastery 593. She's basically a one-woman swirl chaos engine with some off-field healing utility thrown in. This is where Mizuki sets herself apart from other Anemo characters. Passive 1, Dream Drifter lasts longer by 2.5 seconds if she triggers swirl. This can happen twice per Dream Drifter state. Passive 2. While in Dream Drifter, when her teammates hit enemies with Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro, Mizuki gets a 100-point elemental mastery boost for 4 seconds. Passive 3. She gives your team a chance to recover 30% more HP when using healing foods. Traveler mains, this one's for you. 100% trigger chance if the Traveler eats. Constellations, things get wild. Alright, now for the whales and big spenders. C1 adds insane swirl damage scaling based on her elemental mastery. Swirl against affected enemies hits like a truck. C2 boosts Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, and Electro damage bonuses for teammates during Dream Drifter. C4 specialty snacks also restore energy for Mizuki, up to 20 energy per burst duration. C6 swirl damage can crit, fixed at 30% crit rate and 100% crit damage. Yeah, that's as bonkers as it sounds. Just imagine, you pulled C6 this character and did swirl damage around 12k, 10k or 11k. And suddenly you see a big number that your swirl is creating right now. That will be funny. That's pretty broken. Alright, here's my take. Mizuki feels like Sucrose 2.0. Strong in swirl comps, but maybe not essential if you already have Sucrose or Kazuha. She's definitely fun and has great potential in transformative reaction teams like Sukokomon. If you don't know what Sukokomon is, here is the quick explanation. The Sukokomon team composition in Genshin Impact focuses on creating swirl chaos using Hydro, Electro, and Pyro enablers. After deploying these elements, an Anemo character is used to swirl them together, triggering reactions like Hydro/Electro/Pyro swirl. electrocharged, overloaded, and vaporized simultaneously. Initially, Sukokomon included Kokomi, Fischl, Xiangling, and Sucrose. However, now that there are more off-field enablers that focus on transformative reactions like Auron for electrocharge and Chevreuse for Pyro, etc., players can use other characters while maintaining the swirl chaos idea. One more thing, since Hoyo just buff transformative reaction, I think this character is just for to promote those reaction like nothing more, nothing less. If you build your Sucrose well enough, then I do not think so. You should pull for this character and that C6 buff pretty good. Obviously, like you are able to crit now. But at the end of the day, that is at C6 that most of us are just dreaming about it. And besides Sucrose give you like elemental master buff as well as like elemental damage buff at C6. For me, probably a pass since my C6 Sucrose is doing just fine. But if you love her design or need a dedicated swirl DPS, she's worth considering. So that's Yumemizuki Mizuki in a nutshell. What do you guys think? Are you pulling for her or saving your Primogems for someone else? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you're into character breakdowns, check out my previous video on transformative reaction buffs and Sukokomon strategies. Links in the description. Don't miss it. Alright, I'm off to grind some Primos. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace out.
3球球才要4球球熬，5球球莫名死掉6球球台，7球球们扎头挖坑，8球球奶奶。